Somewhere Inside is a song that we had been playing for, I guess, at least 2 years. We wrote Somewhere Inside while we were still doing our Blinded by Vision tour. It's that old of a tune. And so you would think that if you'd been playing a song for 2 years, you probably know your part. You probably know what you're going to do with it. But I had a hard time with this song. We went round and round with what felt right, what sounded good for the groove. And a biggie for me, the big kicker was the bridge. Amy had written this really intense bridge part, and I had a skeleton part that I could play along with her, but it was basically timekeeping because I wasn't doing anything that was exciting and interesting. And I really had to think about, what does Amy's part say, what's it doing, and what are the lyrics all about? And the song is all about the struggle that we all have, this inward struggle. And I really took that to heart. So I practiced. This is one of those songs where I would practice for hours, just playing fills over and over again, trying to get the right feel. And I couldn't get the part going into the bridge. So one day I was up in my little drum nook playing on my practice pad for about 2.5 hours, and that's when I came up with the introduction to the bridge. Because the whole thing, I kind of see the bridge as like you're having this someone's having this argument in their head, and they're going back and forth, and this is what sets the whole thing up. So we get. It took me a long time to come up with that, to try to get the right feel going back and forth and have the same kind of intensity that I think Amy's bass part has. Then we get into the meat of the part. Now we get into the argument, and that was pretty simple. Up the tom, and then we get into this groove. Kind of basically how I hear the fill in my head, hear it in my head. Well, I then took the bridge, that part of the bridge, into 3 different sections, and those are what Amy plays as her fills. So the first one, as I'm singing in my head, we've got the do 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 do. I'm hearing that kind of triplet bum 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 type of a vibe. So starting off, I kind of had this real simple, just like a tom hitting the tom type of a thing. Which was okay, but it didn't really speak a whole lot. I needed something that was a little bit more intense that made a bigger statement. So I'm thinking, she's kind of going. So one day I accidentally got onto this bass drum thing, and I came up with this little triplet pattern, which I thought, wow, that's pretty cool. If I could stick that in, that'd sound pretty cool. So you get. It feels really good. It feels like if someone's having an argument with you and you go, oh yeah, well, they cannot come back with anything if you say that to them. Well, then they do. And they take it and they say, and that was my next fill was that bit. So we go. And I thought, well, that's pretty cool. That makes a pretty neat statement. But when you have an argument, a lot of times, the tide turns on you, and I felt like I needed to turn the time. So instead of having my fill start on 1, end on 3, and then come back again on the downbeat on beat 1, I thought, what if I carried the fill all the way through, ended it on 1, and turned the beat around on beat 3? So it's kind of like you found yourself in an argument, and now you're backpedaling. You don't know where you're at. So you get. Back up and you're like, wow, wait a minute, I'm kind of discombobulated. And then the beat turns back around again as we go to our last fill, where Amy's doing her dum do do do. I'm hearing this for the last fill. I'm hearing this do 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 do, and I wanted to kind of echo that our initial. So I came up with this last bit. Which is I kind of saw as this, like, you're stumbling out of your argument, kind of lost in the dark. There's these chaotic feelings going on with this person. I was just really trying to help bring that out. and really help with the drive of Amy's bass part, because it's just this intense part. And so that's what I was trying to do with this song.